Kind sir, we're ready to
I'm
rock
ready.
and roll.
Yep, we're ready to roll. Yes, indeed. All right. Well, welcome everyone to the Writer's Word Shop. I've been running all day, and I tell you, I'm so glad I made it here. And I got to tell you this: I was on the road coming in, and I made the huge mistake of going down Cameron Street and then going on to 322, leading up, it goes up towards Penn State. Well, I want to tell you, there's signs everywhere saying don't go that way because the traffic is backed up like you would not believe. And I mean, just that one part where the traffic has to merge, I don't know how long it took me just to get through that. So whatever you do, if you haven't gone down Cameron Street, getting on the 322, don't do it. Everybody's going to that big game tomorrow, or they're going home. I don't know where they're going, but I understand that a lot of people have left out tonight, and they're on the way to Penn State because Penn State's playing Michigan tomorrow, and that's one of the big games in the country. Penn State hasn't been able to beat Michigan and Ohio consistently for a long time, and a lot of people getting disgruntled with James Franklin, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. Ohio State beat Penn State, and the score ended up being like 20-12. They did dominate Penn State as far as the offense was concerned, but the defense played hard against Ohio. And everybody kept saying, well, Ohio State doesn't have a good team this year, and if they can't beat this team, they'll never beat them. Guess what? Ohio State is ranked #1 in the nation. Hey, hello, somebody. They beat, Penn State, and they were ranked #3 at that time. Now they're ranked #1. Ohio State's no slouch. They have a really good team. And Michigan is ranked, I think, #2 or 3. I think they're ranked #3 right now. And they haven't lost a game either. So Michigan's fired up. Ohio State's fired up. They're #1 and 2 or 1 and 3 in the nation. And Penn State is ranked #9 right now. And so, James Franklin hasn't lost any games except the one to right now the #1 team in the country. So, let's ease up off the brother and the whole Penn State team. They are doing a tremendous job. They're 8-1, and they're going into this game playing at Happy Valley up at Penn State. And I just hope that they actually pull off a victory. They've come close over the years. I think the last time they beat one of those teams was like 2016 or something like that. So it is a little frustrating, but at the same time, they're not playing any team. They're playing some of the best in the country. And then Penn State's been winning their bowl games, so they play outside the conference and they're winning. Hey, hats off to James Franklin and all the people up there. So enough of that, and all the people going up to the game. Have yourself a wonderful time. Hey, we had a wonderful time last night at the Forum Building here in Harrisburg, where we had a poetry showcase, we'll call it, and it was sponsored by the Harrisburg Police Athletic League in collaboration with the Writers Wordshop. And what we did was we pulled together, the parameters, and we got the word out, and got some other things that we did. But there were some cash prizes given out, and they were given through the Harrisburg area Police Athletic League with Dr. Charles Stewart and company, brother Jimmy Jones. And they did it was a great program. It really was. We didn't get the turnout that we were hoping we would get. Poetry is not a big thing for some people, and they think, oh, I can't do this. But the young people who got involved and did it, they did a great job. Unfortunately, everybody can't win. And, some people get disgruntled. They, complain, especially. I always smile when people complain. And I always think to myself, yeah, but if you had won, would you still be complaining? But for the most part, 99.99% of the folks, they had a great time. And by the way, we told all the young people, none of them were losers. There's no such thing. We are going to feature them. Those who want to be featured will be featured on this program, the Writers Workshop platform here with brother Chris Thomas and the Voice family. And so we hope to have some young people come on, read their works, and talk about the good that they see in their community. And then also we hope to have what we're going to do an anthology featuring the young people and their works. So all of the folks who submitted works last night, we're going to feature those poems, but we're also going to ask them to write a few more poems that can be put in the anthology. We weren't able to have a junior high, or what we call middle school category. We only had a couple submissions from the middle school, and they were good. They were good, but we really couldn't say, okay, here's a clear cut winners, second, third, that kind of thing. So we really just went with the best of the best, and it turned out to be a 10th grader from Dauphin County Technical School, and then two young ladies. I think one was a 10th grader, one was a 12th grader from CASA, the capital area arts school or something like that it's called. But anyhow, they did a great job. They came in and have a teacher over there named Mrs. Brown who worked with them and really got them to think about the theme, which was the good that I see in my community. And they came through. Side Tech came through. Central Dauphin came through. Susquehanna Township. I know Mrs. The program, the ARC program, did a great job. Those kids go to schools, but they also are part of a program called ARC. It's an after school program. And, and they came in and they brought the whole school down. And we had, entertainment. We had the Winneman African Dance Community with Lark Daniels. And we also had Studio Solomon with Lee Wachowski and drummers. And, we had poets such as Wendy Noche Onye, and then also artists such as Carmen Henry Harris. She got up and read, a poem, and then also she introduced some people as well as Wendy did. And then we also had, Andrea Fulton, who's an outstanding artist and who got up and did some, wonderful stuff. She was great, she introduced some people as well. Of course, she's the fashionista and also a cosmetologist, and she does a great job with ABW Productions. And hats off to her. They just celebrated their 30th anniversary at the Forum building just about 3 weeks ago. So anyhow, it was just a great program. Hats off to the PAL program for stepping up and, helping our young people know that they can reach higher heights. And, we'll just keep on keeping on. It was a great beginning, and we're going to make it even bigger and better for, to come. So there were no losers. We gave them all goodie bags. They all know that they're going to be featured in the anthology. All of them will be featured on this program, as well as we hope to, take some and put them on the Life Esteem program that comes on Sunday mornings on Channel 21, which is CBS affiliate WHP TV 21. And then also we have Kwanzaa coming up. Don't forget that on December the 9th, we will have our annual Kwanzaa program, which is always a huge hit. And in this city, the city really supports the Kwanzaa program. And we have a wonderful venue, and that will be using the Camp Curtin school. It's called Camp Curtin Academy up off of 6th and Division Street. And we will be using their gymnasium. And so it's going to be a great time. And I think Brother Chris is bringing up that flyer, which I love that flyer, by the way. It's really well done. And thanks to Rita Henderson for doing the flyer. Look at that flyer. Doesn't that thing just jump at you? Kwanzaa, community celebration. Yeah. And again, it's sponsored by, the Writers Wordshop as well as Life Esteem. And hats off to the person who's really making a lot of great stuff happen. Last night, I'm going to say Wendy did a great job. But last night, Nicole Wilkerson, who is the events planner and is our official events planner for the Writers Workshop, Nicole really just tied it all together. She looked absolutely beautiful too. I got to tell her that dress she had on and her entire outfit, she represented, and she did a great job. She always does, making everybody feel warm and welcome, and keeping the program going. So she did a fantastic job, and she's an organizer. So anyone that's interested in having an event organized, I highly recommend Nicole Wilkerson. Her organization is called Nicole Makes It Happen, and she does a lot around consumer, is helping people to save as consumers and find deals and steals and all that kind of good stuff. So anyhow, she was great last night. She was our MC, and she really kept the program moving. And again, hats off to brother Dr. Charles Stewart and company, his wife, and also Jimmy Jones. And they even had a gentleman come from Washington, D.C., who came up, to experience the event. He's part of the National Police Athletic League and a supporter in terms of finances and stuff. And he came up all the way from D.C. to, and he enjoyed himself. That was the other piece. And I got to say, the Winneman and Studio Solomon, they showed out last night. They really, acted as if that place was packed last night. We had a nice little crowd. It was, the forum is big, but we had over 100 and something people, that came out and really gave some enthusiastic applause and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, that was that. I do want to mention again that, we do have Kwanzaa coming up. And so please, whatever you do, make sure that you, if you want to be a vendor, that you contact Nicole Wilkerson and, let her know that you, are looking to be a vendor. You want to start, reserving your space now. It's always reasonable to vend. It's never, a lot of money or anything like that. and we do get a really good turnout, a really good group of people. We're going to honor some folks again, and we always honor 8 people, 7 who represent the 7 principles of Kwanzaa, and then 1 person who kind of captures all of the principles and is really doing a tremendous job in our community. And so all of them are doing a tremendous job in our community, but that's the way we do it. So, and my wife pulls that together every year through Life Esteem, and we're looking forward to that. I have talked to Mafelda Thomas, who has been with us a number of years, and she was with us last year. She is the stilt walker par excellence. I mean, she is just excellent. She's also a storyteller, and she does a lot of other things. But I just talked to her last night, and so she's putting it on her calendar, and we're hoping to have the presence of the stilt walker. She said she'll have to be here early because she has another event in Philadelphia that evening. But we're going to get up there around 12 noon. I'll tell you that right now. So you want to look out for Mafelda Thomas, who is just excellent, and she brings a lot of energy, to the Kwanzaa program. And we always say Kwanzaa program is pre-Kwanzaa. Anyone who knows Kwanzaa knows that Kwanzaa is celebrated officially from December the 26th through January 1. And so we always have started a tradition here in Harrisburg, thanks to Pat Thompson and Harrisburg Area Community College, where they would actually hold a pre-Kwanzaa celebration. It became such a hit, we just continued to pattern. And for years we had it at HAC, and then HAC remodeled their facility, and it just wasn't as conducive for the number of vendors and tables. Last year we were really fortunate enough to have it at Harrisburg High School. The gymnasium there is just wonderful, and so we were hoping to get that again, but they apparently are remodeling their facility, and so by the time Kwanzaa rolls around, they're not sure the floor is going to be finished and all that. So they said, well, what do you think of Camp Curtin? We said, hey, we'll take it, because Camp Curtin is a wonderful gym too. I played many a game in that Camp Curtin gym over the years. Back in the 1960s, I was on the William Penn Tigers basketball team. Highlight of my life, and there's a lot of games played there. So that's a beautiful gym. I'm looking forward to being in there in that space again, and bringing the Kwanzaa program to community. So anyhow, that's what's going on. And by the way, let me also mention that on December the 17th, we will be at the State Museum, Harrisburg State Museum of Pennsylvania, and that's located in Harrisburg here on 300 North Street is the official address. And it sets on the corner of North, 3rd and North, and also Foster and North. It's a huge facility. We will be in the auditorium, as well as outside of the auditorium with the atrium and lobby area, because we're going to have a wonderful program that's dedicated to women artists. And we have some outstanding women artists that we'll be lifting up, and one special guest as well. I just thought about it today after kind of seeing the person. I'll just say it that way. Excuse me, I said, oh, we can't do that. But the occasion is to introduce the community to, I'm going to say her name. I hope I'm saying it right. Yanja Smalls. Okay, and I'm probably saying that wrong. I know I am. Yana Smalls. Anyhow, she is an outstanding artist, a PhD. She also is someone who does poetry. She is an artist. And she is someone who's really distinguished herself and is making a national presence. Her father and mother, her family is from this area. Well, at least they lived here in this area for years. And her mother passed away, unfortunately, about 2 years ago. And her father, told me all about it. I got a chance to meet her. And so anyhow, and I've seen her work. She's on Facebook, and she's making huge inroads with her art, African American art. Is the way I would describe it, but she is just an artist, period. And also she's a scholar, very much a scholar. She will be the feature that day. And then we'll honor 7 people from the Harrisburg area who are outstanding women artists. So it's gonna be a celebration of women who have graced the arts, with the feature being our sister from Dr. Smalls, who's originally out of, I think, North Carolina, but again, they lived here in the Harrisburg area for a number of years. And you'll be happy that you meet her and come to that program. It's a free program at the State Museum on December the 17th, and it'll start at 12 noon with vendors and that kind of thing. But then we'll have the program from 2 to 4, and you really want to be there. Okay, we'll tell you more about that as well. And we have an official flyer being made up, and once that flyer is totally together, we'll get that out to you and everything. So keep in mind December the 9th and December the 17th. December the 9th at Camp Curtin, December the 17th at the State Museum of Pennsylvania. So those are some of the things going on with the Writers Workshop and much, much more. You know, we're still pushing, you know, our publications and all that good stuff. Thanks to Terry Washington Martinez, who is our official publisher. She is T-Dub Publishing. If you want to go online and look it up, she's on Facebook. T-Dub, T-U-D, B, T-Dub Publishing. And yeah, she's doing some good stuff. A lot of people get to recognize her work, and she's helping a lot of authors, would-be authors, become authors. And she is my official publisher. And so we're really glad to have that opportunity to have her. Let me mention again, I mentioned the program from last night. Let me just lift up, you know, a little bit about who some of the people were. I think I have all of the poems here with me. And I may mess up some of the names, but Diana Royster, Diana, it's D-A-N-I-Y-A, Royster. She's a 12th grader, and she wrote a very powerful piece. And so anyhow, her poem was called An Observer's Point of View. She is a student from Capital Area School of the Arts, that's CASA, okay? Also, Sophia Peglo, she entered the contest as well. She is from Capital Area School of the Arts. Her piece was called Hidden Pictures, and she's a 10th grader. Also, this piece was by, and I'm gonna say it wrong, but Ostrander is her last name, Ostrander. Her first name, I think, was Crow, something like that, Crow Ostrander, a 10th grader, also from CASA, the Capital Area School of the Arts. Her piece was called My City, Harrisburg. Very well done, all these poems. And she is, again, a 10th grader. Louisa Solomon Nelson from the Capital Area School of the Arts. Capital Area School of the Arts really embraced this, and they did a great job. Thank you for the support, you know, of the program. Her poem, she's a 10th grader from Capital Area School of the Arts, and her poem is called The Beauty of 7AM Harrisburg. Interesting. Zaire Wright, I forget, let me see here. I know he's part of the ARC program, and it doesn't say which school here, but he says, "Are you looking?" Zaire did a great job. Zaire's, yeah, I appreciate Zaire being there. Robert Hudson, also from the ARC program, and he didn't have a title, but you know, really well done and real perceptive. Is right on the money as far as the actual title, you know, the actual theme. You know, good that I see my community. Bikram, I'm gonna say Tarak. I'm probably saying that wrong, but Bikram Tarak. Okay, he had a really nice piece called In My Community, I See. In My Community, I See. And then the good I see in my community, this was a piece from a 7th grader who also is at CCA. And okay, I'm not sure. CCA is the name of the school. I think it's a charter school. And so anyhow, Tylil Glover was a participant in last night's program. And also this is one from Jamari Askew, Susquehanna Middle School, 7th grader. The good I see in my community, okay? Wrote more like a haiku, real nice piece, all right? Also, Gianni Bruner, a 10th grader from SciTech, wrote a piece, and there's no title, but very good, powerful piece. And we appreciate the you know, participation. Also, the good I see in my community, this one was also a 12th grader, Mark Michaela Askew. I think, you know, I think there was brother and sister, but this person is a 12th grader as well. The good I see in my community was a title, a nice short piece. Appreciate the participation. This one is from Micaiah Murray, and Micaiah Murray actually had 2 pieces that they put forth. 10th grader at Dauphin County Tech, and you know, piece was called "The Good I See in My Community," and then also Lilel Neal, 10th grade at the Capital Air School for the Arts, and My Love for Harrisburg was the name of that piece. Okay, Lilel Neal. This one is simply called the good I see in my community, in our community. Now, this was Micaiah Murray. And by the way, Micaiah won first place with this particular piece. It, to me and to the committee, it captured the theme spot on. And so I might even just read this tonight. I actually read it last night. Micaiah wasn't able to attend because of a prior commitment, but the poem itself, we saw it as having tremendous merit, as all of them did. And we just thought that that one kind of stood out. This one is called The Good I See in My Community. And let me see here. This was from, okay. Yeah, this is Micaiah Murray, the same. Let me make sure it's the same one. Yeah, it was just retyped over. That's all right. Okay, yeah. So Micaiah Murray, first place winner, Dauphin County Tech. And that's all of them. And remember that the first place winner, we wanted to have 2 divisions, but we didn't have enough from our middle school to really warrant, first, second, or third. So anyhow, we just went with what we had. But we'll work on that for next year and get more people involved, hopefully, for the next time we do it. And don't forget the Writers Workshop. We also had a contest this year where we allowed, students to express themselves. We had a different thing. We did it at the State Museum, and we gave cash prizes as well. This year, we worked with the PAL program. We hope that this is something that'll catch on, and we'll do it every year. But hats off to those young people who took time to write the piece and then to come down, and to read them. And for those who couldn't come down, we thank you for your participation anyhow, and for the way that you, embrace the whole concept. And the program was outstanding. This was the program itself. I don't know if you can see that. I'll hold it up. It's hard to read when they're holding it. But anyhow, yeah, there we go. It was really nicely done. Youth poetry, spoken word, and again, good stuff, real good stuff. Anyhow, so having said all that, that's what that was all about. I'm going to ask Brother Chris. I know we'll have some people come on tonight. We always do, but I'm going to ask Brother Chris if he doesn't mind showing one of the videos, that we have. He always lines up some outstanding videos, and this is a sample of the kind of poetry that's out there these days. St. Louis Art Museum.
I acknowledge the 7th day of Kwanzaa, Kuumba, or creativity. Kuumba asks us to do as much as we can in the way that we can in order to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than when we inherited it. When I think of Bendalo, a Xhosa term meaning natural beauty, I am reminded of performance art, poetry, drums, call and response. Whether in Johannesburg, South Africa, or St. Louis, Missouri, we honor our ancestors through our art. Kuumba personified, my Black is beautiful.
Nice. Kuumba, creativity.
I am that Black woman. Born into a world without a dress rehearsal. Reality was harsh, life was rough, but I came from a strong foundation.
Ancestors from across the ocean told me to always hold my head high. And at times from the outside looking in, I questioned my why.
But when you stop looking within, you stop living. And I want to live. So I look at myself in the mirror and I see my reflection.
And I say to self, I'm not giving up on myself. Am I not a gift of life?
A seed sowing growth?
This universe is my earth and it carries me.
And my divine self reminds me that my cup could never runneth over in me.
You see, I am a sunflower sister out of the concrete. I am the light and the light is in me.
I am that Black woman, seeking to define me, knowing that in this search for me, as long as I am living, I will find me. Challenging as it may be, I cannot give up on me.
Because you see, I am that Black woman that pulled babies out of the womb, birthed nations and raised babies single-handedly, went to church on Sundays and breastfed everybody else's babies while we tended to our crops daily.
As that black woman, I am aware of my spirituality, and I will continue on my spiritual journey affirming who I am, knowing who God meant for me to be, not society. Building my community while realizing the true goddess that resides in me.
So watch out! Newsflash! Black woman running to a healing, receiving a miracle.
Climbing to the mountains out of the valley of oppression. Oh, what a blessing. Screaming with faith as my obsession.
Hail to the queen! Wearing my crown, I am royalty. My black defines me. I am who I am. I am unique. I am we.
I am that black woman.
Beautiful. Wow, good stuff. You know, yeah, Kwanzaa's up on us. And, you know, what we have to do is we have to make sure that we remember who we are and how we are and celebrate that, you know? And, you know, that's not to take away from any other culture or to say that we're better than somebody. No, we just have to celebrate who we are. God didn't make us, you know, imperfect. He didn't make us junk. He made us just right. Now, are we sinful people? All of us are in some way, shape, or form, but we're all blessed people as well, especially when we know who God is and how God is. And listen, do what we are required to do, you know, under the leadership, the guidance, the love of Christ. And so this is what we do. And so people say, well, what is Kwanzaa all about? It's a cultural celebration. That's what it is. And it is a time for us to remember, to know, to grow, and to move, you know, move forward, you know. So the last part of Kwanzaa is always Imani, which is faith, you know, faith. And, you know, we have to live with this. We walk by faith, we live by faith, we work by faith. You know, we have to have faith. And with that, you know, all other things can, you know, be possible. So I love Kwanzaa. I really, truly do. I love the fact that it brings us together, it reminds us of the good that is inherent in us and, you know, the struggle that we've had to come through, but how our ancestors maintained, you know, and fought and built and allowed us to remember and to know God. You know, they didn't depart from God. And I hope that our young people today and even the elders who are with us today don't begin to find other ways to, you know, depart from, you know, the path that has been, you know, forged, you know, the blood-stained path, you know, and also the path that was laid down by genius and hard work. You know, there's a path that's been made. If you haven't been to they have a wonderful program called Thriving Together. And we were really, really, really blessed to be able to become a part of this program. And we want to thank again poet Wendy Noche Onye. She and her church were part of this cohort 2 years ago, you know, so. And so they went through a 2-year process, and it is a 2-year commitment. And then she told us about it. And we said, oh, we'd love to be a part of that. Well, when it came up, she alerted us and we applied and we were able to become a part of it. So this was our second coming together. We have classes for over the course of 2 years. I think there's like 6 or 7 experiences we'll have together, Black and white churches. There's 12 different churches that have been selected to work together and to, you know and grow together. And so going down to the National African American History Museum in Washington, D.C. was part of that knowing. And if you haven't been there, man, we went down, I guess, the first couple of weeks when it opened years ago. And then this is my second time going down to it. And boy, I was just overwhelmed once again, the way they put that together and the history, just to remind yourself of what we've gone through, because you start in the lower level, which is the enslavement period, where our people were enslaved, and just how devastating that was. And what that really meant, you know, we hear about it, but to really understand the transition from our culture, Africa, the demeaning of our culture, and the whitewashing of our culture in order for us to survive here in this culture, and then to become, generations later, where we are, authentically, African Americans. And so, yeah, it's good to remember that, and then to look at all the genius that have passed through these, these lands, if you will, and through time, to remember those folks and to know that all along, God was with us, never forsaken us, and has strengthened us as a result of anything that we've experienced, just like any other group, So please, whatever you do, find yourself a time when you'll go down to the National African American History Museum in Washington, D.C., and enjoy yourself for a day. It's well worth it, okay? It's well worth it. Just call down and get tickets. I believe it's absolutely free. I think, now when you go into that they have a wonderful cafeteria, the food's good, but it is expensive. I will tell you that right now. So don't think that, it's not. And they have a wonderful gift shop, and the gift shop was reasonable, a lot of reasonable prices there and some other things that they have. But it's the experience of seeing all that you see in that museum is well worth it. It's like 5 different stories or something like that. And so you want to take advantage of it. As a writer, they had a couple wonderful things that, piqued my interest. One was a picture. Actually, I took a picture of a Mary Baraka and Amina Baraka and their family. And I made a comment on Facebook, and saying how they were inspirations of mine, and they are, and will always be, though they're not with us. Mary is, since going on home with the ancestors, but the power that he wrote with, and the passion and the revolutionary stance that he took, will always be a part of me, and allow me to know that, we write for a purpose and a reason, and we do influence people when we do so. So some of my heroes were and are Sonia Sanchez, Nikki Giovanni, Haki Mahabuti, Donnell Lee, which is Haki Mahabuti, Gil Scott Hearn for sure, Gwendolyn Brooks, and just some of the magnificent writers of our time, the last poets. I mean, come on now, I know I'm missing some people, but Ted Jonas, there's so many folks. Look at my dad and can't call his name right now. He was once married to Sonia Sanchez, and Etheridge Knight, a dynamic poet, Etheridge Knight. And then I had some contemporaries that I lift up. Dr. Kamika Williams Witherspoon, I will lift her up always. She's a great poet. Wendy Nocherionia, who comes on this platform all the time. She was with us last night. I think she's an outstanding voice, great poet. Maria Chow, what a voice, what a poet. She's just absolutely, tremendous. Someone we don't hear from anymore, but she has done her thing. She'll always be a part of the Wordshop as far as I'm concerned. Is Jay Banks, a wonderful writer. I'll never forget her first book of poetry, Fat, Black, and Sassy. Just dynamic, writer. And it goes on and on and on. Ro Brady, and, Neil Owens, and, Dr. Dan Snowden, and, Zil Powder, Jason Moffett, Iaya Soki, Julia Mallory. Man, I can just go on and on and on, because there's so many that are in this area who are just great writers, and they make us all proud, and they have something to say that's worth listening to, worth reading, And so whatever you do, take very seriously. I hope that you will take seriously the whole art of communicating through written and spoken word. It does make a difference, and it's really hot here in Harrisburg area. Spoken word and poetry has been a staple of this community for a long time. You have groups like the Almost Uptown Poetry Cartel, that's now named a different name, but they have some outstanding people. The current poet laureate, Rick Kearns, is dynamic, outstanding, and Rick has held that title now for a long time, but he's very good. And then you have Marty S. Worthy, Keith Snow, and man, I can just go on and on and on there too. Just great voices in this Harrisburg area. So whatever you do, folks, support the artists, support the writers. Thank you, Randy Gross, with the Harrisburg Magazine, and so many others. What's the name? Bishop Dallas and Jenny Dallas, They were putting out the Black Wall Street, and also they put out a Hispanic newspaper as well. They're doing good stuff with that. And so, yeah, just got to remember those people. The Berg, the Berg has been highlighting a lot of the artists and writers here in our area as well. So it's just a good thing to be a part of a community that represents and understands and loves the arts. And Harrisburg is no exception. Philadelphia is come on, it's Philadelphia. They produce so many great legends and so many great venues. And then you have Baltimore as well, DC as well, going up to New York City, with the Harlem Book Fair and all the other things that they do, at the Mecca, if you will. But hey, they say if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere in New York. That's absolutely true. But I will tell you, Harrisburg's no slouch either. We hold our own. And so does York, Pennsylvania. York has a lot of good stuff, and Lancaster as well, too. Yeah, Central Pennsylvania, period. Some stuff is happening, folks, So how do you become a writer? Well, first thing you want to do is write. That's how you become a writer. First thing, it sounds simplistic, but it's the truth. You have to write. And yeah, you don't have to write every day. Some people really get into it. They write every day, they write every week, whatever. Just start writing something, and don't worry about form or fashion at first. Just enjoy writing. And once you get that down, and then, you want to produce, you want to have something to say. Maybe it's something, political. Maybe it's something that is just a creative piece that you've, come up with that just, you just can't let go of. And it's a story, it's a poem, it's a song, whatever. It's a rap, but you put it down, and then you just get better and better and better because, you begin to hone your craft, so to speak. And you also want to edit it. So people like Aurora Brady and others are out there, that can help you. So you want to make sure that you look at it, you want to get it just right. You want to, let it rest for a bit and then reconsider it. So that way you can say, is this what I really meant to say? Does this sound like, does this sound right? Look at it. Yeah. Editing is a part of the writing process. And then once you've laid it to rest, and you think, yeah, now it's, okay, it's time. You publish that bad boy, whatever form you put it in, whether it be an anthology, a piece that stands alone in an article, or, or something that you, send out to a magazine to be considered, or some anthology to be included, whatever. Or you put together a collection. Some people do that too. They wait till they get like maybe, 35, 40, 50 poems. And then they put together a collection and they have a book. And they say, okay, this is my poetry book. A lot of people doing that now as well. So do what you do, Hats off to Sam George. We had Sam George on our TV program, Life Esteem, with my wife. And, she, of course, is featured all over the place with her commercial. They're on TV through UPMC. They have all kinds of print ads out featuring her. Why? Because she experienced what none of us want to experience, that is, cancer. And really took her to a place where they thought, they being, the medical profession, that maybe she only had X amount of time to live. The cancer began to spread to her brain and other parts of her body. And, the diagnosis was grave. And so she beat it because she believes in God. And she said, God delivered her. She said, God spoke to her and said, you're going to be an example. And so, hey, he spoke to her. She received it, believed it, and listen, achieved it, and then she wrote about it. And she put together a wonderful book. Few Are Chosen is the name of the book. Few Are Chosen. And so, yeah, it can be done. So she used that real personal, almost devastating experience, and she wrote about it. And she said, I started to reach out to you and talk about the process writing, and then my husband just encouraged me, just start writing. And that's what she did. And she found her voice. And she's a very good writer. And so she found her voice, she wrote it down. She told her story of struggle, not just in the physical sense, but also the mental sense, all the stuff that she's going through, whether it's because she worked in the school district one time, and, she's a cosmetologist, and just a whole bunch of things. She's a family person. A lot of stuff she had to put in that book, and she put it in that book. And the book's well worth the read. And she is a great spokesperson for, believing and receiving the blessings from God. So anyhow, yeah, use what you got to get what you want, right? You want to write a book? Well, do you have a story in mind? Is there something that is just kind of came into your spirit? It's like, that would make a good story. Start working on it. Just start writing it, Or is it something personal that you've actually experienced? Or something that you've learned about that you want to, talk about? Is it a commentary? Is it a documentary? Is it a song? Is it a creative story? Is it nonfiction? Is it fiction? I mean, there's all kinds of different thoughts that can happen. Is it an article for a newspaper? Is it an observation piece? Whatever. Work on it. It's yours. If it's moving you, let it go. Let your pen go, let your hands go, whatever. If you're typing, if you're writing longhand, whatever it is you're doing, do it. But I know that's easier said than done, but it can be done. And a lot of times you may not be inspired. Then other times you are. Take that moment of inspiration and act on it. That's one of the first things you're going to do as a writer. I don't write all the time. In fact, I'm always out doing this, doing that. But at the same time, I'm always thinking about writing. I always think about what would make a good story. So when I do write, I try to write from a sense of power, because it's like, okay, this is something I really want to say, something I really want to do. Am I a great writer? I don't think so. But what I do think is I greatly appreciate writing. That's for sure. And I try to build platforms where others to come along. That's what the Writers Workshop has always been about. I just get inspired listening to, reading, and hearing other people's thoughts and creativity. It moves me. And so, that's what it's all about. Why do I do this program? Because I want people to know about the Writers Workshop and give a platform for people to come on and enjoy themselves, But at the same time, it inspires me. It keeps me motivated. It keeps me going, as a writer and thinker. And so, yeah. And I do have a book in progress right now. And I'm always working on a project. I don't move it along as fast as some people do, but you know what? I have 2 or 3 projects actually up in the air when I think about it. And I feel good about that. So yeah, we do what we do. Having said all of that, I'm going to ask Brother Chris now. Let me see what time it is, okay? Because I know there's a lot going on. In fact, hey, hats off to the veterans too. I didn't think about this, but the nation really is celebrating Veterans Day. A lot of schools are out. I think maybe all the schools are out. And it's like, wow, I didn't think about that. Yeah, this is Veterans Day. We have to remember those who put their lives on the line so that we could have the kind of life and the kind of freedoms that we enjoy in this country. Just think about what's happening in the Middle East and other parts of the world. That could be us, And there are people who went to war, who put their lives on the line and literally, are fighting for, the freedoms and the, democracy that we say we live under. And it's not an easy task. I mean, going into these foreign lands or, whatever. We have to be grateful. And those persons who live that life, sometimes they don't get appreciated the way that they should, because, we don't see them and we don't understand or know, because we're reaping the benefits of having, this kind of open society, this kind of freedom. And believe me, there are times when being an open society, for all these shootings and the bombings and different things that's taking place, it's not, Gaza, it's not Ukraine, but it is to the person who's shot, or the person who, is, blown up in some crazy situation, whatever. It might as well be Gaza to them, because, it's terrorism nonetheless. If you're just walking down the street in a store, enjoying yourself in a restaurant, someone just opens fire, come on, that's sick. But that is one of the downfalls of having an open society. And then a society that believes in guns. They keep making excuses for guns don't kill people kill people, blah, blah, blah. We don't need gun legislation, we need mental health. Yeah, that all sounds cute, to make your point. But the truth of the matter is, the one guy who supposedly, just recently, in fact, I think he shot and killed himself, or maybe he was killed by police, but he killed a number of people, a lot of people. And he had told the folks that he was hearing voices and that he was going to kill people. He felt the urge to kill people. So he's a mental health, risk in our society, well known to the authorities of that area, wherever he was, operating. And they said, well, he served in the military, he had guns. No, he had purchased guns. He had purchased guns after having revealed himself as someone who had a mental breakdown, someone who was thinking about killing people, he was still able to get guns outside of the military. So think about that. Hey, man. All right.
Hey,
How you doing?
doing good.
Good. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. I've been
Yeah.
on here running my mouth by myself. I'm like, wait a minute now.
Well, I just
I'm
got
glad you're
in.
here.
I just got
Okay,
in.
okay.
I'm broiling some fish. So.
Hey, we got fish dinners. One of the churches. Oh, in fact, it was Dr. Felicia Brown Hayward and her husband, Reggie Hayward. Apparently, they had a fish dinner
Okay, I
sale
did
for
see
their,
that.
yeah, for the upcoming events and stuff that supports their,
Right.
artistic endeavors. And so anyhow, yeah, so I got some waiting for me too. That's good
Okay.
stuff. But yeah, I was just making a comment real quick. I'll finish my thought, and that is that this gentleman who had outly, rightly, told people that he was having a breakdown, that he was thinking about killing people and stuff, was still able to get guns. And so that's just a shame. But that's the kind of thing that happens. People fall through the cracks, and then we can suffer because of the lack of attention that people pay, to that kind of thing. So, but again, we're an open society, and they say we have the right to bear arms, to have guns and all that. It's just that we need to be able to regulate it a whole lot better in terms of who gets these guns. And, one of the things that happened years ago when they were talking about not having the gun show here in Harrisburg anymore, and the gun show is held over at the farm show. And so there was a time when the gun show went away, and then it came back, and the local news, I forget which station it was, wanted to make a point. So they took a young man who was no more than like, I think 19 to 20, he was young, and they gave him some money, and they allowed him to go into the gun show and said, we want to see if you can buy guns, because everybody was supposed to have first been, I guess you're documented, you had to show documentation. And then if you were not someone who had purchased a gun before, I guess I don't know how the whole thing works, but it should have been a period of time before you could just go in and buy a gun, and they do a background check. He should have had 2 or 3 days. He was able to go in, and within 2 hours, he walked out with a number of guns. And they said, well, how did this happen? He said, I just bought them. He said, I went in, and told them I was interested in this gun, that gun. Gave him the money, they gave him the gun. What? That's the problem right there. They didn't know if he had
cash.
Yeah, the cash was it. And but they were saying, oh no, they already do background checks and this and that. Nothing further from the truth. Nothing further from the truth. And I like the fact that the local station did it that way, just to make the point that, they say one thing, but here's the reality of what's really happening. And especially if you think it's a young person, this guy, I mean, what? So anyhow, let me get off that soapbox.
Well, no, that's why we have them all over Harrisburg, and these kids can get them anywhere. But what about the type of weapons that they're getting? Some of them, the ones with mass destruction or something. Why would anybody need a weapon like that?
No, absolutely. But those are the kind of things that can drive us to write. They do what they call op-eds, so your opinion piece. Let your voice be heard. Just recently they just had a big election, went back on Tuesday, right? And folks were shocked at the turnout in terms of how the abortion question was answered. That in a lot of ways, those who were anti-abortionists were sort of shot down. Those people that were for abortion, and apparently those states where they thought this was going to be a real battle, it wasn't a battle at all. I mean, they came out like 63% for and 38% against and stuff like that. So the margin was much wider. It kind of woke up the Republican Party, from what I'm being told, to say, wait a minute, we're on the wrong side of this issue. So anyhow, but those are the kind of things that when you pay attention to stuff, there's so much to write on. That's really what I'm talking about here. It's not about the politics. It's just about making observation. If you're interested in that arena, or if you're just interested in writing a story. I always go back to Lorraine Hansberry, who wrote A Raisin in the Sun, one of my favorite plays of all time. And they did a documentary on her life. She died at the age of 35 or 36, something like that. Very young. She was smoking like crazy. And back in the day, people didn't pay attention to what that was doing, So she literally died very, very young, not knowing that she was killing herself with all that smoking. But she was a great writer. And then that play became it. I mean, that was like, I don't know how many times I've seen A Raisin in the Sun. But I had no idea that she actually wrote that based on her father, who owned all these properties in like Harlem, New York. And he was really helping people. I mean, yeah, he was a big landlord, but he was trying to help African American people in particular have a place to stay and not charge them $1 billion and rip them off like so many people were doing. And he got so disgusted with what he was seeing in terms of where our people were being treated. He moved his family down to, I think, South America for a while, something like that. And then they eventually came back, but she did come back, or maybe he did as well. But that's why she began to write. And so that whole thing about having an apartment and then moving into a home and all that, that didn't just come out of nowhere. That was a part of her actual living, her. I was like, oh, I had no idea. And so that's the kind of stuff, yeah, that, she was inspired to write based on real life stuff. So my question for everybody out there is, what inspires you? What would inspire you to write? Would it be a tragedy? Would it be an unjust law? Would it be, a story or something, a part of your life that you experienced? What would cause you to write? Now, you're a perfect example because you wrote a piece about your father, which I thought was really powerful. And you could take that and keep just building if you wanted to. But you have so many experiences you could write about, from your pageant work to the church work that you do, to working on bicycles and working and volunteering with different organizations. Cruising, you could write about cruising, man. You cruise. How many cruises have you been on?
Oh my goodness, I'm almost at the pinnacle. I mean, the top. I don't even really know. I said I was going to write it down one day, go through it, but I haven't really done that. I just know that,
But you could talk about the do's and don'ts of cruising, how to pack, where to go, so your opinion in terms of what some of the better ships might be, what are some of the fun things to do on a cruise? I mean, think about what you could actually talk about. Man, oh man.
Yeah, when I was younger, a lot of fun things.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if I do the bungee jumping and the what is it? I liked riding those four-wheelers. I tell you, we went on an excursion, and I tell you, when we got back to the ship, we had sand or dirt all over our face, our hands, everything was dirty.
Oh wow!
But it was a lot of fun, we had a guide, we just followed the trail with him. But all that stuff is a lot of fun when you go on the excursions and stuff.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been on probably, I think, 7 cruises at this point in my life, about 7. And so I love them. Yeah, absolutely. Haven't been recently, but we hope to go again. But yeah, cruise can be a lot of fun. The last cruise we took was in Europe. We went to a number of different, countries there. We flew over into, I think it was Spain first. I think so. And then we, cruised from there. I think it was a 15-day cruise or something like that. But yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, I used to do two a year, twice a year. I used to go on cruises before the pandemic.
Yeah.
After that, it's everything now.
Yeah. Have you been on a cruise since the pandemic?
Have I?
I think didn't you go on one?
I think I did. Yeah, I think I have. Yeah, and I got one scheduled for next year with Connie and Jesse Alfonso for April 1st. That's a 12-day. We're going to fly out early and go to Florida and stay over and then get on the cruise ship. And I forgot, I know it's Royal Caribbean, but I did have the different ports we were going to. I printed it out somewhere, but I don't even have it in front of me now.
Yeah, that's okay. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. That's the other thing. You really gotta know how to plan and how to make sure you do things on time and all that kind of stuff, because cruising they don't wait for you.
Yeah, I like to go with groups,
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
That's good. That's good too. I always like that too. That we usually cruise pretty much by ourselves, but we've gone with a family. We took a number of us from the family and did a cruise. That was a lot of fun. And then we had some friends who kind of joined, different members of the family. I don't think I've ever actually been on a cruise where we had just a big group. Yes, we did. We went to when we went overseas. The group came out of Alabama, and people from all over the country joined in, and they were a lot of fun. They were well organized. It's usually mostly women kind of thing, but women and men the whole bit, and we formed some pretty good friendships there. Yeah. Yeah, but generally we kind of go, pretty much by ourselves. Yeah. So
Mhm.
anyhow, good stuff. Good stuff. What did you think of the program last night?
I thought it was good. I mean, I don't, well, I thought maybe the contestants could have been prepped a little more about how to present and how to speak in the mic.
Yeah, thank you.
You know,
Yeah,
because I mean, you
yeah.
miss a lot if you can't hear what they're saying. You miss it.
Thank
They
you.
have this
Yeah,
soft voice and talking all
yeah.
soft. They got to
Well,
learn
we did
project.
them. We tried to say that to them before because they got there early. Most of them were there early. They were sitting backstage, and Nicole did a nice job telling. And we tell them speak directly to the mic, whatever. But it wasn't. The one thing I will say, it really was about the writing. Okay, so we judged them off of the poem itself. It wasn't so much about the presentation. We just asked them to come and read.
Yeah, but if you couldn't hear what they were saying,
I know that's the point, and that's what you want to. But they're young,
yeah.
And so when we were young,
Right.
we probably did the same thing. But yeah, the microphone's right there, and then even Lark Daniels, who I just love, but she's a great dancer. Lark doesn't want to use a microphone, but Lark will speak loud. But I said, Mike, put that microphone up to your mouth. People come on to hear you. They don't want to be straining. And I laugh at that all the time.
Which person was that? Who was
The
that?
dancer, the African dancer.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I don't know if you noticed that. She didn't go to the mic. She just talked loud enough, but that's her thing. And it's like, if you're going to talk, you might as well put the mic up there. And I said it to everybody.
I think a lot, we making announcements at my church. I mean, some people have hearing problems, so you should use a mic. Some people, I don't need that mic, Yes, you do.
Yes,
you need the mic.
You need the mic. And the thing is, for those young people to get up and do it, period, that's a big accomplishment for them. So I give it. If we do it again, we don't need a venue that big. I think a more intimate venue would have been perfect, Yeah, that's that. I mean, I got the concept. Yeah, but hopefully we'll do it again next year with PAL. But I'm going to highly recommend we take it to a much smaller venue, to a place where it's more intimate. That's what poetry is, more intimate.
What about the PAL building itself? Where do they have?
Well, they have a new PAL. They just they got a new place. Now that's not a bad idea. Quite frankly, the building that they have is nice, but it'd be kind of small for if you were to want to get a big crowd out there for the folks.
Okay.
It'd be nice for a small, intimate thing. But if you want to have a big contest, yeah. But a school, there's schools, there's churches,
yeah.
different places.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah, there's different places. Yeah, we just need a little auditorium big enough to really house a number of people that would come out. So because we had more than 100 people there, it didn't seem like it because the lights were down, it was dark.
Right, they were scattered out.
Yeah, they're so spread out and everything. So it was a nice crowd, and the crowd applauded. They really got into it. But to your point, we really wish the young people would have really used that microphone. You don't want to stop them and say, "Hey, can you speak louder?" That's not good. Yeah, but I'm with you. Yeah. In fact, we had one at our poetry showcase that we did. When I say our, the Writers Workshop, when we did down at the State Museum this past. I think we did it in April because April's Poetry Month. And one young lady could have won because the judges all felt like her poem was probably the best, but her presentation was so difficult to hear. They had to say, the other young lady, her poem was good, but it wasn't. But she presented in such a powerful way, and they just thought her presentation was. And they were judging based on the way you read it,
Right.
And so, yeah, I was standing behind the curtain. And I couldn't even hear the young lady. And I thought, is she speaking? So I whispered to her as loud as I could without speaking to the microphone, speak louder. And she just kept on going in that same tone. But I know that fear, They said one of the most fearful things you can do is public speaking.
Well, Aldine Green she trained me well at New Hope because she said, "You're going to do the announcements." So, okay.
But think about how long it took you to do that, though. I mean, and here's the thing: as young people, as older people, we can see it. We're more seasoned now. We do that, but we were teenagers at one time.
Oh yeah, I was young when I started.
Yeah. And were you as good when you started as you are now?
No, I mean, I just learned over the years, and then
Yeah.
I mean, Aldine would, she would mentor me and stuff, and
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. And so for most of these kids, a lot of them were 10th graders. There were a couple there was some seniors there, yeah. But you figure if they start now as 10th grader, hopefully by 11th, 12th grade, they fit their stride if they stick with it. And as they get into college and all that, this get better and better. But you got to start somewhere,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I once did a prayer down at the college, and I remember I was so low. My roommate said, "Did you say anything?" And I was intimidated by the crowd. He was like, "I was trying to hear the prayer," and that was a big joke. I mean, he just rolled me forever on that thing. And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know why I was so intimidated." I got up to that prayer, but I was like, "Yeah, man." I thought, "What the devil?" So you have those moments that you remember.
Sometimes that happens. Yes.
Yeah, do better next time. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we did.
Let me turn my oven off real quick. I don't want to burn my face.
Go ahead, turn that oven off.
Oh.
Hey, listen, brother Chris, if you don't mind bringing up another video for us, I'd appreciate that. Those videos are always so inspiring and well thought out. City of Bloomington. Okay. All right.
The sun will rise tomorrow. You stood forward at the ready, facing all manners of virulent man-made storms with their venom, mayhem, and death. Sacrifice accepted. Revolutionary War, War of 1812, Civil War, Spanish-American War, World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Dominican Republic, Lebanon, Grenada, Panama, Gulf War, Somalia, Haiti, Bosnia, Kosovo, Iraq, Afghanistan. You were there, serving so that those of us who could not, would not, did not march with you could continue lives in which we maintain the right to argue about who is right or wrong, just or unjust, good or evil. Soldiers, Marines, airmen and airwomen, sailors. In our names you shouldered forward into the fire. All the while songs of your bravery and heroics reverberated through our minds. First to fight for the right and to build a nation's might, and the army goes rolling along. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we will fight our country's battles in air, on land, and sea. Anchors away, my boys, anchors away. Off we go into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sun. We sing your praises. We memorialize your heroism in epic poems. We tell you that we thank you for your service. But it is not enough. No, not enough to sing your praises, not enough to speak of your heroics and sacrifice in epic poems, not enough to pay lip service when saying thank you for your service. More is required of us. Now we must march with you, shoulder to shoulder, even putting our backs into it and lifting you upon our shoulders, even carrying you securely in our arms, in our hearts, enacting real, honest, concrete ways to help you heal from what you went through over there and what you are going through over here. Your battle continues with all of its unpredictable and treacherous possibilities. But now, the rest of us must stand forward, ready to do battle with all manners of storms in your names, for you, our brothers, sisters, fathers, mothers, uncles, aunts, nephews, nieces, cousins, friends, neighbors. We must stand forward with you, our heroes. Day is done, gone the sun, from the lake, from the hill, from the sky. The sun will rise tomorrow and gently caress our hopeful faces with warm fingers of radiant light. We will stand forward together, march up this hill together.
Nice, powerful.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Brother Chris. That was really well planned out. What you think, Nan?
Well, yeah, I was last Sunday. I was in Philly at the Veterans Parade and Veterans celebration, and we met two former veterans. One was 98 and one was 102.
Wow!
And I mean, the weather was so perfect. You remember the weather was really good.
Yeah.
And I manned the tables while the Queen and two others got in the cars and represented the Miss Senior Pennsylvania pageants.
Yeah.
But it was wonderful. It was a wonderful day. And, I sort of, well, I didn't drive, but one of the other girls drove. And it was just so nice going to Philly. But I don't usually like Philadelphia. I don't know, because I hear so many things about it. But the people and everybody were so nice, And
City of brotherly love. Come on now.
they fed us. I mean, they fed anybody that wanted to come in, to the information center there. They fed everybody, and they had like salmon and chicken and all kinds of it was good. It was really nice.
Fantastic.
Now this
I'm
Sunday,
already hungry.
this Sunday we're going to be at the Normandy Ridge in York.
Oh, okay.
It's I guess a senior citizen place, and the Queens are going to be there for we're going to be doing veteran songs and stuff like the gentleman just sang. We're going to do that Army medley. We're going
now, when you say the Queens, for those persons who are not familiar with what you're referring to,
Miss Senior Pennsylvania Queens. Yeah, we'll be down there.
Yeah, that organization, you guys do a lot. That's really good. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, we try to do a lot of showcases that we can, and show our talent and just be there for elderly people and, go to the homes and centers and stuff like that. And they really enjoy it.
What can the Queens do at Kwanzaa on December the 9th?
What can they do?
Yeah, I mean, you go to these other events, so you're going to have a booth.
Well, they can have their table out and they can promote.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, listen, I would love to see the Queens come and, let people know, because there are more people who may want to get involved in the pageant if they knew about it.
Right.
So, yeah, that's hopefully you'll have a table there, maybe have the reigning queen. I understand that there's a lady who just was crowned queen. Tell us about her.
Well, it's the Miss Senior America. She was crowned for the Nationals.
Yes.
The lady from Texas. Yeah, her name was Terry Quinn.
Yeah, what's her profession? What was her background?
Her background is she's a breast surgeon. She's a doctor. It was quite a few doctors in the pageant.
Nice, beautiful.
I gotta get me some water.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. Yeah, I see you. I did. Oh, let me tell you, I started the sermon on Sunday, and all of a sudden I teared up and I started coughing and had to stop, and my wife had to get me some water and everything. And hey, things are going around these days, and I started sniffling, and I think I made it through the sermon there. But everybody take care of yourself out there, because
I don't know why something trying to get stuck in my throat now or something.
Oh yeah, there's always something going on. So one of the features I want to bring to this Writers Workshop platform is to get the audience more involved and figure out how to do that. And I'm going to be working with Brother Chris and talk about that. I was reading something just the other day. Actually, it was on Facebook, I believe. And then I read something about it as well. That there's the way to get the audience involved in your programs or your podcast, whatever, and how, you have these surveys and all that kind of stuff, and people comment on it, and it just generates more interest and excitement. And that's been a technique used for years. And that's something I like to do here for more of the writers or just people in general about various things, and see whether or not, it's something that would generate more interest for them and get them involved in the conversation, but also encourage them to write about it, let's talk, or let's lift up some articles that have been written about it, or, a book, whatever it might take. Even a TV program or movie, guess what? There's always a script written for those things. They don't just pop up and all of a sudden, the actors or the commentators usually have a script. So writing is extremely important to almost everything we do. when it comes down to education or to sharing information and all that. So yeah, let's try to get the audience more involved. We'll figure out a way.
Did they invite the TV stations for yesterday? Did anybody say?
You know, we sent it. I sent it to some of the stations, but I didn't really push it hard. I wish I had. But one of the things we're doing, I don't know if you remember, we were saying that we're going to feature the young people, all of them who participated. 4 of them couldn't make it last night. We knew that everybody wasn't going to make it, and so you know, some of them couldn't make it. So we just read that piece, but we'd already determined who the you know, award winners would be before we got there. So they were just presenting their work. But anyhow, make a long story short, we're going to have them featured on this platform. We'll, you know, ask a few of them at a time to come on and to talk and maybe read their work, and then also talk about themselves in terms of, you know, what they do in school and all that kind of stuff. And also encourage them to write a few more pieces for the anthology. Because remember, we're putting together a book, an anthology of their works. And we had 15 people involved. So, you know, I would encourage them to, we gave them a specific thing. Now we're going to ask them just to write, you know, write the 2 or 3 more poems. And so each person have, you know, about 3 poems. Because our last anthology, we had, I think 15 or 16 participants, and everybody wrote 3 poems. They wrote 5 poems. We selected 3 of the 5. And so that came up to a pretty nice size of the book, you know? So we're going to try to encourage the young people to do the same thing. We're also going to feature them at Kwanzaa, if those, you know, want to get up and read their work, which we hope they will do. And that's going to be on December the 9th, as you know. And there was another showcase too we talked about having. So, you know, we're going to be featuring them in the media and on Facebook and all that kind of stuff as much as we can. And leading up to next year, where we, you know, hopefully we'll do this again, you know.
Yeah.
So and a lot of times the news will come and they'll give you a quick little 30-second, hopefully, you know, sound bite, but we want to give them a lot more airtime. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, just show them that, I mean, the good things that's going on in Harrisburg, besides all the killing and shooting and stuff.
Yeah, no question about it. Yeah, you know, that's, and a lot of times they will, but again, you just add to your point, we have to reach out to them and tell them that, hey, this is what's going on. And it was a free program. It wasn't like we were selling tickets or anything, you know. So yeah, they probably came out. We probably should have done a better job at really asking them to be there, you know. So, but we have it all over Facebook. And a lot of people have already commented to me that they watched the you know, the past. Even Brother Chris mentioned to me as we came on tonight that he had watched portions of it. So that's good. And when I went to our prayer breakfast this morning, a couple of brothers said, "Oh man, I saw the pageant." You know, they watched it on Facebook. We had over, I think it's, I have to look at that. I think it's like 150, 160 views or something like that. Right after the pageant itself, or showcase. I keep saying pageant. Right after the showcase itself. So yeah, some some good folks. Yeah. Anyhow, so how about yourself? What's going on? I know, you know, you got a lot going on with the pageant and all that, but what else is happening in the life of, man, that's
Well, I mean, I just found out I'm going to be a great grandmom.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Wonderful.
My granddaughter. She told me on Wednesday when we had prayer meeting, she said, I wanted to tell you at church. I don't know how they thought I was going to react, you know?
Yeah.
Things happen, you know? I don't know if they thought I was going to scream or what. I don't know.
Well, you know, that is interesting. Yeah, sometimes people are not sure. And I remember a young lady who I mentored and everything, and, you know, she's an outstanding person. And so she was, you know, and I thought, what's she trying to tell me here? And she finally said, well, you know, and I'm like, hey, fantastic. You know, we went to the whole thing, and, you know, they're doing just fine. And, you know, the father's there, she's there, you know, they're finding their way.
Yeah, I can't judge. I got pregnant at 16.
There you go. Hey, listen. Yeah.
I can't judge nobody.
Hey. I remember one of the great stories was Dr. Saida Champon. Now she's the principal of Sci Tech. And I remember working at Sci Tech there with her. And I didn't know her backstory or anything like that. At that time, her name was Saida Bonner. And we discovered that a number of young people there at Sci Tech, when I was associated with it, had, you know, become pregnant, the young ladies. I think we had like 16 or something. There's some incredible number. All of a sudden, all these girls, what's happening? You know, so we figured out that, you know, a lot of hanky panky going on here after school. And so we, you know, addressed them. I talked to the young men, and then we were going to talk to the young ladies, and we were thinking about who the best. And then, what's her name? Lisa Waller, who was the principal at the time, said we need to have, you know, Saida come in and talk to these young ladies. I said, oh, okay. And I'm thinking, why Saida? And she said, well, Saida, you know, had a child when she was, you know, about 15 or so, or 16, whatever. And so, and look what she, you know, finishing her doctorate and this and that. You know, it's not a death sentence or anything like that. And things do happen. And so she came in and she was powerful. I had no idea. I didn't know her backstory. And she talked about that and how that affected her career, affected a lot of choices she had to make. But then guess what? You know, she's been in the church. She knows God, you know, hey, you know, she kept on going.
Right.
And she's a solid, serious sister, you know, who does some great work and is nurturing. Boy, she had nurturing presence because she understands, you know, we all go down roads. And sometimes, you know, we get there. Back in the day, remember they used to send people down south and all kinds of craziness.
Well,
You
thank
know.
God for my mom, because she was there to help me. And then I went to night school for 2 years up at William Penn.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I got my diploma.
All right. Go ahead now.
Yeah.
One of the things that happened to me, I ought to write about this experience. I was at a school, I was working for the Department of Education, and I was going all around the state doing all these presentations. And I was asked to go to one county, and I get up there, and it's a Friday of all things. And I'm like, you know, and I thought to myself, that was one of the worst things. And this almost, I mean, I'm talking about going towards Erie, and it's a long drive and this and that. I'm like, oh, Lord. I get up there, and I'm talking to these folks, these teachers, and they're sitting there, and it's just one of these almost like an in-service day for them. And they're about as bored, and they're looking at me like, what is this dude doing here? And I got to just say it, you know, here I am, an African-American walking in, and I don't think there's another person of color to be found in 50 miles. I mean, it was an all-white area, this kind of thing. And so they're looking at me, and I'm thinking about it. So I said, can I ask a question? I said, I feel the spirit in the room. I said, you guys aren't with this. What's going on? I said, let's talk for a minute. I said, what do you want to talk about? I said, because, you know, we're talking education and everything. I said, everything is important, but there's something happening. And the guy was like, oh, man, there's nothing against you, man. It's just that, you know, we got so many problems here. He said, and while this is important, he said, listen, these kids we're dealing with, and he goes on and on. And then he sparked, you know, some, you know, interest. Hey, how you doing, Lizelle? He sparked some interest in the room there. And so to make a long story short, I said, let me ask you a question. I said, how many of you are from this area? Because they were talking about kids getting pregnant, kids dropping out of school, kids that not caring about college, and this, you know, all they want to do is get some little part-time job and have a baby, blah, 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 blah. So I said, well, how many of you are from this area, you know? And number of them, oh, yeah. I said, well, you know, how many of you, hey, anybody in here grew up on welfare? I did. I said, I grew up on, you know. And they were like, looking around each other. And so then finally, a couple people said, well, yeah, you know. I said, anybody go to this school district? You know, yeah, you know. I said, did anyone struggle? I mean, you know, I said, well, I'm getting at this. You know, some of you have been through what some of your students are going through. I said, but you've overcome it somehow. And, you know, now that you are teachers, administrators, whatever. I said, have you had forums? Have you talked to them about how it was for you coming out of this district, coming out of some of the stuff you've done and mistakes you may have made or situations you were in? And to get these kids to understand, you're not just teachers, but you're also people with experiences.
Right.
And man, they thought I was, you know, walking on water or something by the time we got to done. Just common sense stuff we were talking. And so they wanted me to come back up and do this and do that. And I said, actually, I don't know if that's the best. I said, what I need you to do is just simply take what you already have, because I'm not giving you anything magical.
They could do it.
Yeah, create a form and just do it, you know? And that's exactly what they did. And so I was really happy that God gave that inspiration, because it wasn't me, it was God. And then they embraced it.
Right.
And they said, hey, you know, this really was, it really turned some of those kids around. And even opened up some of these teachers to be able to relate to them more, you know, because it's taboo. But anyhow, I digress. I say all that just to say, it's amazing how there's times when there's inspiration, things happen. And, you know, I thought maybe I should write an article about that and just write about that experience.
Well, even
maybe inspire somebody else to do the same thing.
Yeah, even the Bible says, we're overcome by the words of our testimony. We can help somebody, telling them how our life was, or what we went through, what experience we had.
Amen.
We can help lift somebody, or teach somebody something.
Lizelle, I got to tell you this. Yesterday, a young lady comes into my office with my daughter. My daughter works at the hospital with me. She's on the housekeeping staff, the cleaning staff. And so this young lady comes in with her, and she's, and I'm telling you, the Lord be my witness. She is a little miniature Lizelle Powder. And I'm looking at her. She looks so much like you. I kid you not. And I remember thinking, okay. And she comes in and she has a smile. And she's just, she's kind of quiet. And I see her in the hallway and everything, but I don't know anything about it. I didn't know she knew her and my daughter even knew each other. So they kind of come in, and I thought, okay, what's going on here? Because, she's coming to my office and it's near the end. And so she says, I need to talk to you. I'm having a lot of problems with one of the persons on the staff. And I said, what's going on? She said, well, she keeps picking at me, and I don't know what I did to her. I said, well, who is it? She said, well, it's this person right here, talking about my daughter, Danielle. She said, she's a demon. She's just picking at me, and she doesn't, and she just, and Danielle said, don't listen to anything she got to say. She's
Was
crazy.
she serious?
They're going back and forth, And so here she's just a teasing. But I said, where are you from? She said, I'm from Trinidad. I said, no, you're not. Yes. She said, oh, yeah, I'm from Trinidad. I said to myself, I'm thinking that she looks so much like Lizelle.
Should have took a picture.
I'm from Trinidad. And she works in the kitchen there, what they call the cafeteria. But she had a sense of humor she was truly funny. She was such a delight. I never heard her say a word, and she didn't change her facial expression. She just said deadpan things. But she was just, really, really great. And my daughter and her, they just, they go back and forth. They having a lot of fun together. But I said, you got to meet this poet that I know by the name of Lizelle. I said, she's from Trinidad. And I'm telling you, blah, blah, blah. She said, oh, really? Anyhow. Yeah, truly funny. Truly funny. But anyhow.
So you have any relatives there, Lizelle?
Huh?
I was asking Lizelle, does she have any relatives down here?
I'm telling you. Y'all might be cut off from the same cloth. You just don't know. I would say she's probably about, I'm looking at her, I'm thinking, maybe 19, 20, something like that. Because I was thinking much younger. Then I thought, well, she's working here full time. No, she's got to be about 19 or 20, Yeah, so. But anyhow, real nice young lady. Because my daughter, everyone thinks she's like, maybe 18. Have you seen You've seen Danielle, haven't you, Nanette?
I don't know.
I know who you haven't not. But anyhow, Danielle looks real, real young. So people always mistake her. Danielle's 36 years old. She looks like she looks very young, and it's just, it is what it is. But she looks like she's still in high school and everything. And Danielle's like, I'm 36 years old, That's what it is, yeah. But anyhow, this young lady too, she might be much older than I think she is, because, but she had a great sense of humor though. She was funny. Anyhow, so what's going on with you, Lizelle?
Nothing much really. Last week I was sick with a cold. But I'm much better now.
Great.
That's good. Good. Because that stuff's going around. You can come to New York, huh?
Yeah.
Has no boundaries.
They were talking about the whooping cough at this one school. Did you hear that on the news?
No, I didn't.
Well, they were talking about several students got the whooping cough, and it's very unusual, that these kids would have whooping coughs at this senior high school.
I haven't heard that term or phraseology in a long time, whooping cough. And I never understood what the heck a whooping cough is. What is a whooping cough?
Oh, whooping coughs is you're hooping and you're coughing.
I thought
does that mean you hooping basketball wise, or?
I thought it was babies. Babies normally get it, I think.
Yeah, babies normally get it, but this year, that's why they're saying this is unusual for this school to be having this here epidemic of whooping coughs with these kids, teenagers. But I said the last days, all kinds of things is going to be happening.
Yeah, listen.
That never happened before.
There you go. Yeah. Well, yeah, and there's always something going down, isn't it true? Always something. Just when you think you've seen everything, it's like, no, hold on.
Yeah.
Something else is happening here. No question about it. Well, listen, Dazil, I'm glad you came on. You always seem to be ready to give us a poem, and I show up tonight's no exception. Do you have some poetry for us?
Yeah, I have one.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Okay. Break it down for us. Tell us, set it up for us, and give it to us if you don't mind.
All right. This one is called Love on the Outside.
Love on the hillside?
Love on the outside.
Oh,
Outside.
the outside. Gotcha.
There's no room for unwanted love that spoke many languages from lips that wasn't pure, wasn't real. Hard to find and hard to say I love you from broken scars that wouldn't heal. Because what's inside is already damaged. It's a mangled rope with nuts that is hard to break free. Every nut squeezed so tight that the body refused to cry. You can try. That's why love is on the outside. It's moving to places that welcomes it. It makes you feel you got this. And it's a trick to say yes and submit. Look at her. She's so wrapped up in her mess. Her bed is waiting just to lay her head because her roots are not planted and her feet are still not grounded because they are struggling to stand on the inside. That's
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Good.
When did you write that?
just before I came on, I finished.
Well, what inspired you to write it? Is it something that clicked in your head?
Yeah, it's basically not a woman not feeling worthy, and you know, she's finding love on the outside. She is just not worthy of herself to believe that she can do better. So whatever is out there, she grabs at it, and she's so, when she's out there, she gets so torn. She gets more worse than how she was before because she's thinking that this is it. This is, you know, but it's not.
Right.
So it leaves her all mashed up and torn and scarred, and, you know, and she's not really thinking about getting better because she's so weak. She's so bruised and banged up that she don't even know herself.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's why she can't stand on the inside, meaning the inside of her can't really stand up to say, yes, I'm beautiful, I'm worthy, I'm blessed, because all those feelings are already drowned from what taking place outside, what she's dealing with.
There's a lot of women out there like that.
Yes. Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
And, you know, what I love, you know, the poem itself was very powerful, but your explanation, though, that really brings it home, just the way you broke that down. And there's so many women, we work with a lot of women who are coming through these family programs, and you just described so many of them over the years that you know that they're much more powerful than what they think, you know, but they don't think they are. So everything is outwardly, like you said, and they can't stand from the inside. And then they're left with the children, and the guy doesn't always seem to be in the picture, you know. And next thing you know, there's just all this calamity, a lot of them in homeless shelters or whatever. And they'll almost settle for anything, you know, just almost settle for anything because they don't know just how powerful they are. And they can't
at one point in time, I was like that.
Say it again.
At one point in time, I was like that, but I had to, you know, stand up, I had to think and say, hey, something is wrong here. I need to, focus.
And you know, and I'm so glad you know, thank you for sharing that. You know, hey, sometimes we have a hard time to say, you know what, that was me. And sometimes we write from stuff from our subconsciousness because we're telling our story, really. Yeah. All of us. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. All right. I like the way you said you just finished it before you came on. That means you're dedicated to writing, though. I give you credit.
Yeah.
You are dedicated. I see when you responded also to the Kwanzaa. You sound like you're thinking about coming down here on December the 9th. Hey,
Yeah,
all right. Let's make that happen. That
I
sounds
have, I just want to, just now, hold on. I just want to
Okay.
show 2 more pieces of my artwork, which I didn't really, oh, this
Mhm.
is one.
Oh, wow.
Wow. When
That
do you
is
have time to
beautiful.
do this?
I'm telling you, that is
I don't have
nice.
time to do anything.
This
Mhm.
one, and then I did, so I'm saving up all my pieces to,
Oh, wow. That's
Bring them
nice.
all down.
Yeah. I
Oh
told you
my
we bought
goodness.
2 pieces from it that are really nice too. That is beautiful.
So
By
how
the
long?
way, on the 17th of December, we're bringing in a lady who is really an outstanding artist as well. In fact, I don't know if Brother Chris can pull up anything from her, from her website that she's on Facebook. And I'd have to give you the spelling of the name, but anyhow, her father is she's from Harrisburg too. I mean, lived here in this area, but she's now doing really great stuff, and we're going to honor her. She's a PhD and all that as well. She's a poet, and also she has her practice and all that stuff. But anyhow, she's an outstanding artist as well. So I really look forward to having all you, because you have arrived, Lizelle. You got a signature that you're
Yes.
now operating from. Because when I see that, you can actually say, "Hey, do you sign your pieces? Do you put your name
yeah,
on them?"
yeah.
Okay, good.
I had to sign those. I just show. I had to sign those pieces.
Now I know you've been getting recognized as a poet, but are you beginning to get more recognized as an artist as well?
Well, since I did the last calling, which was this one was in where this one was, boy, pet no. Oh my gosh. I forgot it. Westchester or somewhere on there. Yeah, but what happened? My paintings were selected, but I had to work, so I couldn't get the paintings, be a part of the show. That was the last one. It was 2 callings. My paintings one was an online one, and one of the painting was for the online, but I couldn't be present at the time. I think with my job or something like that.
Okay.
So I didn't send anything as yet, so I have to see what is out there to submit.
And there's a lot of different things. In fact, there's a couple of artists. Let me say this real quick before, and then I'm going to ask Brother Chris. Brother Chris, can you go to this Facebook page? And the spelling is YEMONJA, Just Human. Just Human is the one word, and it goes, but it's YEMONJA, and then Just Human is one word, and that's her website. And she's the one we'll be featuring here in Harrisburg. And I'm hoping that, I would love to see you, Lizelle, be able to meet with her. And others, I want the whole community to meet her, because she's an outstanding person, outstanding artist as well. And she may be able to connect you to some of the venues and things that are coming up. I think your artwork is standing alongside anybody's, quite frankly. And there's a Christine Johnson from Harrisburg, who now lives down in Charleston, South Carolina. She's really blown up too. She's another outstanding poet, but also she is an artist now. She's really noted more as an artist, and Christine's just taken off. She was a professor at Hack for a long time and all that. Here's Umonja, I think. Okay, there we go. So.
Oh my goodness, that is a different name.
Yeah, and I don't know if you can show some of her stuff there. That's of course one of her pieces right there.
You say she's going to be here on the 17th?
17th of December,
At the museum?
Yeah, at the museum.
Oh.
Yeah, this is some of her artwork apparently. Look at that piece, isn't that? That's a price, yeah. And then I love that too. Look at that.
Yeah.
She makes up flyers and different things, and yeah. Look at that Juneteenth piece. Wow. Oh man, you know what? I'm gonna talk to you about maybe making that as a part of our you know, celebration here. If you
Beautiful.
has some way we can show that, yeah. That's beautiful. I hope she has some stuff from Kwanzaa too. That would be, yeah. But anyhow, so she's
How
gonna
did
be
she
one of
spell
the
her
people
last
featured
name?
here. And
How did she spell her last name?
Smalls, Smalls, Smalls. Her name is, but if you go on to Facebook, you'll see her under Jamanje Just Human, Just Just Human. That's her Facebook page. Yeah. YEMONJA, then Just Human, one word. And that's her Facebook page. And you'll see some of the stuff she's involved in. Yeah.
Wow.
Let's see, Brother Chris. Okay, there she goes. Look at that. Yeah, that's her. And like I said, she has a PhD. She's an outstanding poet, and she does a lot of stuff. Yeah, so
You said she was from Harrisburg?
yeah, they lived here. Her father is a minister. He's Reverend Irving Smalls. He's the chaplain down at Hershey Medical Center. Been there for years.
Okay.
And his wife, she passed, unfortunately, like maybe 2 years ago. So that's when I got a chance to meet her. I actually gave the eulogy for his wife. And they're just outstanding people, you know. And so I didn't know his in fact, Imanji is his twin. She has a brother. They're fraternal twins. And so on the 17th is their birthday of December. And we're gonna be celebrating, not only having her here, but we're gonna be celebrating their birthday as well. He's gonna be here as well. I think he's an engineer, but they're very, very outstanding, educated people. Her father's just an outstanding guy, you know, real theologian as far as I'm concerned. But anyhow, they're going to be here. So he goes to the Hershey Free Church, but also he is now, I think it's public, engaged to a lady out of Goodwin. Yeah, Goodwin Memorial. She's one of the ministers at Goodwin. And so they're announcing the fact that they're now engaged and everything. So yeah, good people, good people. So anyhow, yeah, so look forward to being, you know, 17th of December. We're hoping to have a huge turnout for this outstanding artist. And I'd love for Black women artists in particular to get together and know her. And because there's some outstanding venues out there that I know Christine and, you know, and I'd love to see you bring some of your works, you know, to be a part of that, really. Yeah. Also, we have a young lady here too. Yeah, I say young lady, but a lady here too. Let me call her name. She's a really good artist too. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on such. She's real good friends with my wife. Okay, it'll hit me in a minute. But yeah, she's done some great work as well. Yeah.
Dion Renee.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Dion Renee.
Oh no, you know what? I wasn't thinking of her, but yeah, now she's a great young man. What a great artist she is. In fact, she had her artwork recently. I think she won some kind of major contest where she was the Black Panther, the second Black Panther came out. I think she did the
Woman King, I believe.
Say it again.
The Woman King, I believe.
It was the Woman King. Thank you, Brother Chris. It was Woman King. She won a contest for, and her, I think her artwork was like the official poster of the Woman King, wasn't it?
Wow.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it.
Okay, yeah, if you can bring it up. Yeah, yeah, she's outstanding. Absolutely. Oh man, hold on. I can tell you who it is. I'm trying to think of. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. It just is what it is. As you get young as I am, you know, you start forgetting, right? Yeah. But
you heard me stuttering and trying to get my words together.
Hey, Nancy Mendez. Nancy Mendez is outstanding poet, artist as well. She's very, very good too. Well trained. That's who I was trying to think of, Nancy Mendez. She's here in Harrisburg. Yeah. But this Renee young lady, she is outstanding. If Brother Chris can pull her up, we'll see. In the meantime, do you have any more poetry for us, Denzel? Or did you have anything that you wanted to read, Nanette? I didn't ask you that as well.
No, I was asked to lead God Bless America, and I had to sort of research because one of our queens who is now, she has dementia and stuff, and she was a singer.
Okay.
And it starts out as, while the storm clouds gather far across the sea, let us spread allegiance to the land that's free. Let us all be grateful for a land so fair as we raise our voices in a solemn prayer. And then we go into God bless America, land. Have you ever heard that version of it?
No, not at all.
Yeah, I had to get the words because I remember singing it a lot, but I never really paid that much attention.
That's right. I mean, I know the chorus, God bless America, land.
Yeah, that's when we came in. That's when we came in with God Bless America. But she always did this here little verse here before we came in.
Wow, okay.
Which is very, yeah. And it seems like just what's going on now, you know, the storm clouds are gathering across the sea, and that let us spread our allegiance to their lands that's free. And let us all be grateful for a land so fair as we raise our voices in a solemn prayer. And then we go into everybody come in, God bless America, land that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. Yeah, so we'll be singing that at the end of the service when we go on Sunday.
Beautiful.
This year.
Yeah, we're good. Okay. Lizelle, do you have a national song for Trinidad? Is there a national song? Do you know it?
Yeah.
Oh.
You want to hear it?
Yeah. Yeah, we want to hear it.
Absolutely.
Okay, let me, yes, okay. Forged from the love of liberty in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare. Side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea. This our native land. We pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Wow.
I have a squeaky voice.
So how often do you hear that if you would go to Trinidad?
You more hear it like in events, like a special event, a ceremony, a sporting like an event, a sporting event, or an award ceremony, or if the minister have to talk about any specific topic, they will have the singing of the national anthem, or if they have like dignitaries, like guests and stuff visiting, they will sing.
Oh, so we can Google it, the national anthem for Trinidad.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's excellent. Well, thank you. Thanks for sharing that. Because I know I've always asked you something last minute here, but can you pull up can you go to Living Springs Redeemed Christian Church of God, their website, and they had an anniversary last Saturday of 20 years, and we weren't able to go because we went down to DC, but some members of our church went, and they were saying, and also I did get a chance to see some pictures, but not the actual. And I'm saying I had to speak it up there. Can you pull up anything that shows that wonderful program? I understand it was just absolutely outstanding, and all the people, so many people in Harrisburg went to that. But Living Springs Redeemed Christian Church of God with Pastor Tunde, I think I've said it right, Tunde, and they have a choir over there and a celebration that's second to none, and they really do a tremendous work, and they're just spreading out all over the place, the different things that they're purchasing and doing. I don't know if that's possible. Brother Chris, are you able to do that? You can show something real quick.
Is this across the
I'm
river?
looking now, Dr. Nate. Give me
Thank
one
you. Appreciate you, sir.
moment.
It's no, it's Living Springs is right behind. If you go down Progress Avenue, it's right behind the Wink 104 station. It's like 2 buildings back.
Oh,
So it's off of the actual address is 3600 Vartan Way. And they purchased the building. The building looked like it might have been an insurance company at one time. It's all black glass. It's big. It's like 2 stories. Just 2 stories, and massive in terms of all the space that they have and all that kind of stuff. But let me see if there's anything that okay. And I don't know if you can show a little video if they have a little video clip.
I didn't really go through the website, but this is kind of scrolling, talking about that anniversary.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. They didn't have a little video clip thing. Okay. I know that they do. Yeah. Let me see. This is children, teens. And that's just something that you see all the time. You know, it doesn't show the anniversary.
Yeah, I looked on their Facebook page and I think it may be too recent, unfortunately.
No, it's on there. We saw it this morning.
Oh, you did? Okay.
The guy pulled it up this morning. Yeah, he was able to attend in Phil Harrisburg. He didn't attend, but another guy did. And it showed it. So don't worry about it. It's all good. But yeah, but I just wanted to give them a shout out because I understand it was just absolute dusting. A lot of dignitaries there. They brought a sister in. They said she could really preach. She threw down and just real good stuff. And it's so colorful. You know, they're from they're from all over the continent, but Nigeria is where Pastor Tunde's from. A lot of Nigerians there, Kenyans, whatever. The one sister we featured down at the State Museum, she's from Kenya, and she's a graduate of Lancaster Bible College, but she wrote a book. And I don't think we've had her on yet, but we hope to get her on. It's called I Slept on Sacks. And so her book is powerful about how she, grew up really poor in Africa, but then tried to make it here and all the struggles she went through and all that kind of stuff. And it's really powerful. Yeah, really powerful stuff. Great storytelling. In fact, I had the book. I'm not going to run and get it, but yeah. Her title is I Slept on Sacks. Yeah. So, having said that, Brother Chris, did you have another video that you could pull up for us? One more before we go off. I know we're getting close to the end here, and my fish dinner's calling my name, so I know that I'll be out there. Okay, here we go.
My name is Nicole Goodwin. I am an Iraqi war veteran. I am a single mother. My daughter's 8 years old, and she was taken from me in 2010. I was accused of neglect, and it was based on a lot of the trauma that I suffered in my past, in my childhood, as well as being an Iraqi war veteran. And I say these things not to have people to be emotionally overwhelmed as I am about my past. I say these things because through those trials and tribulations, like these women, I'm still here, and I got my daughter back. This first one is I wrote the day after my daughter was taken. I came to the realization, it was like in the middle of the night, that even though that was the worst day of my entire life, and it even beat out war, which is a feat in itself, that it's not over. The fight is never over if you don't give up, and children are worth fighting for. So this is just a test. This is just a test. It is not real life, because real life cannot be this hard. It is not a dream, because dreams are never simple. And in between, there are choices that had to be made that no one decided to do so. But this is my test. This is the fact that I have to stand for something I believe in. The only thing I've ever wanted, the only thing I've ever saw in my life worth fighting for. And tests are never easy. This is not an A or B, a multiple choice, or a true or false. This is my life. This is when I shut my eyes and no one is in this apartment but me. This is the mother without a child. This is the story that no one wants to hear. In the end, this is the song I have to sing. And I sing it with pride because I know I can stand. I know I am not alone. In the end, I know this is just a test.
That's good stuff. This is just a test. Good
Yeah.
mother.
She was probably able to overcome, the sorrow and disappointment through just writing, knowing that it's a test and they brought hope to her.
Yes, absolutely. And she just read that and I told us the backstory. You know what I mean? To set it up the way she did, it wouldn't have had the same power. But understanding what she really meant by that, that's what I appreciate about what Lazille did for us in her first piece there when she told us the backstory. That's powerful. It puts it all in context,
Right.
And there's one thing I want to do tonight, if you don't mind. The contest last night, we had a young person win by the name of Micaiah Murray. And I'm thinking that Micaiah is a young lady now that I think about it, but quite frankly, I'm not sure. Micaiah is a name that sounds like either boy or girl. And I went to meet Micaiah to give Micaiah the gift that because this was the first place winner from last night's theme, the good I see in my community. I didn't realize school was out because of Veterans Day. So I get all the way out there, and guess what? Ain't nobody there. So I still got the check and got the stuff for Micaiah. So I don't even know if Micaiah noticed that he or she won. But let me read it to you. And the theme is the good I see in my community. Our community is filled with so much goodness, from the friendly neighbors who always lend a helping hand to the local businesses that support our economy. There's no shortage of positive vibes around here. Whether it's the volunteers organizing events or the teachers going the extra mile for their students, the dedication and kindness in our community never cease to amaze me. One of the things I love most about our community is how we come together to support those in need, whether it's through fundraisers, food drives, or simply offering a listening ear. We show compassion and empathy towards our fellow community members. It's heartwarming to see the impact we can make when we unite for a common cause. Another aspect that makes our community special is the sense of belonging and inclusivity. We celebrate diversity and embrace people from all walks of life. Our community is a melting pot of cultures, and we take pride in learning from one another and fostering an environment of acceptance. It's this unity that makes our community strong and resilient. Moreover, our community is a hub of creativity and innovation. From artists and musicians to entrepreneurs and inventors, we have a wealth of talent and ideas that contribute to the vibrancy of our community. Whether it's a local art festival or a new business venture, these creative endeavors add color and incitement to our lives. Lastly, our community is a place where lifelong friendships are formed. From childhood playmates to lifelong companions, the bonds we forge here are special and enduring. We support one another through thick and thin, celebrating each other's successes and offering a shoulder to lean on during challenging times. In conclusion, the good in our community is abundant and inspiring. It's the people, the acts of kindness, the sense of belonging, the creativity, and the friendships that make our community a wonderful place to call home. Let's continue to cherish and nurture the positive aspects of our community, for it's through our collective efforts that we can make it an even better place for everyone. And that was written by a 10th grader, Micaiah Murray. It's called The Good I See in Our Community.
Yeah.
I thought that really captured. That's a beautiful piece there.
Beautiful.
Yes, indeed. So the first place winner from the Harrisburg Area Police Athletic League's poetry contest. Well, anyhow, thank you both for coming on, Lazille and Nanette Swanson.
Yeah.
Thank you both. I appreciate you. And Nanette, thank you for coming down last night and helping out the way you always do.
I enjoyed it.
Success. Yeah,
Yeah, I
much
want to be there
success.
to support.
All right, appreciate that. And Azil, thank you for always being able to read some fresh, new, insightful stuff, and also for your paintings. Man, those are great. So keep going.
I
Okay.
want to what date is the day you said the lady is coming? So
It's on the 17th. It's Sunday, December the 17th.
I would like to come down.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you was coming on the 9th.
Yeah, I am coming on the 9th with my paintings for the
Oh,
cancer,
okay.
but I want to meet the lady.
Right.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. Sure, I want you to meet her too. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, well, listen, God bless to you both. Thank you, Brother
Yes.
Chris. Wonderful program, man. Appreciate the videos. Outstanding. And hope to see you guys next Friday evening.
Yes.
Everybody here on the Writers Workshop.
Okay, go get that fish.
You know I'm jumping on it.
All right, see you,
You do the
Lizelle.
same, man.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah.
Better have hated when he